/AskLexPH Academy. Thanks for watching. Are you looking for a training, certification, seminars, workshops? Does your company requires Lean Six Sigma certification? Or you just need it for your career growth? Choosing the best training and consultancy services provider matters now, more than ever before. And it will be really hard to find what will help you successfully achieve your goals. Introducing AskLexPH Academy. It is established to deliver excellence by maximizing value creation for individuals and organizations. We believe that everyone can be significantly better through the services that we design and deploy. Assessing the needs of students, professionals, and organizations for skills development that will lead to value creation. We created programs for continuous improvement and innovation covering facets of industrial engineering, Lean Six Sigma, design thinking, change management, project management, business and data analytics, applied statistics and more. With high engagement, you will be experiencing world-leading education and networking with some of the most talented fellow professionals. At the end of the day, you will experience positive changes to your life, thanks to the skills and knowledge acquired in our program. We are a lifetime member organization of the Philippine Institute of Industrial Engineers. Our Lean Six Sigma and other related programs are internationally accredited by the Council for Six Sigma certifications. We are an authorized reseller and partner in the Philippines by Minitab Limited. We signed AMOA to be an accredited academic partner for the Singapore Institute of Multidisciplinary Professionals. Our managing consultant, Felix Varroya, is an elected board director for the Institute of Industrial and Systems Engineers, Operational Excellence Division, an international organization for industrial engineers. Also, we are connected and affiliated to the Association for Manufacturing Excellence, Australian region. And our managing consultant, Felix Varroya, is the current national president for the Philippine chapter. For innovation, we are affiliated to the International Association of Innovation Professionals where Engineer Varroya is the current interim chairman of the Philippine chapter. This year, Alpha has been awarded by the Global Awards for Marketing and Business Excellence, as Best Skills Development Program Provider, National Level. Alpha has also been awarded by the 35th Seal of Excellence for being the Outstanding Training and Consultancy Services Provider for 2019. Receiving these awards only tells the Alpha team to keep inspiring others and giving significantly better training to everyone. To find out more, just visit our website, asklex.com, and our FB page, AskLexPH Academy. Thanks for watching.
And now we're on air. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yeah,
Hi.
so here we are again on our ang ating nakagawiang Alpha TV seminar, no? So for tonight, we'll be joining, no, with one of our great fellow, so Sir Lex. And Sir Lex on online right now. So Sir Lex, would you mind to give us an insight right now? Ano po ba ang meron sa ating webinar for tonight?
Hi everyone! Welcome back to Alpha TV. Maraming salamat sa mga usual natin ng mga names na nakikita sa ating participant list. Ayan. Um, Thank you kasi hindi kayo nagsasawa na join sa amin every session. So thank you for that. And as mentioned by Jojo, I hope you're hearing me loud and clear. We will be joined by someone who is um paano ko ba i-describe? Maybe practically speaking, he's been a former student and then naging paano ba? Naging ano sa business, naging engaged kami with the business and then from time to time we talk via chat or nagkikita kami personally. And dun sa mga bagong IE siguro sa field, may kung mag-idolize kayo ng IE na napunta sa field ng not just dun sa corporate na magiging employee yung mga startups and thing. I think itong taong to will help you out para mas maging motivated. Just to read a bit of his profile. Ayan, thank you, Jo. Just to read a bit of his profile. So for tonight, we'll be having a topic about introduction to systems thinking. Okay, and our speaker is actually the Rice Bowl Awards 2019 Startup Founder of the Year for the Philippines. This is a global award actually for startups, and is one of the contributor for Philippine Daily Inquirer. Okay, and he is a certified industrial engineer and was part of the pioneer batch of Asian Institute of Management or yung AIM, no? Master of Science in Innovation and Business. He founded and was the first CEO of Kizar Innovations, and today he is the current CEO of To the Top Agency. Okay, he believes that we are on the verge of a Filipino tech renaissance, a time where the gap between investments and Filipino entrepreneurs finally dissolves. And he wants more startups to be front and center when that happens. Without further ado, please help me welcome our speaker for this Alpha TV session about Introduction to Systems Thinking, Engineer Edward Solicito, CIE MSIB. Hi, Ed.
Hi, Sir
Thank
Ed. Good
you.
evening.
Good evening po, Sir Lex, Sir Joe. Thank you for
Ayan.
having me on the show. Hello
Thank
po
you,
sa
thank
lahat ng
you.
manonood.
Thank you. Busy po itong mama na to. So talagang nagpa-schedule ako a month before. So kailangan
Para
masulit
kay Sir
natin.
Lex, para kay Sir Lex,
Ayan.
matik po
So,
yan.
ayan. Sige. So ayoko nang stall yung mga tao na makinig sa magandang talk mo about systems engineering. So go ahead, Ed. Start sharing your screen. So we'll be on the background, Jojo and
Yes.
I. So good luck and hope everyone will enjoy. Bye. See you later.
Ayan. Ayan. So again, hello to everyone who is now with us sa YouTube and with us dito sa Zoom call. Again, I'm Edward Solicito and thank you very much to Ask Lex Philippines for having me on the show. Nung nag-usap kami ni Sir Lex about this talk and they know na a lot of engineers are gonna be on the audience, a lot of people who wants to improve, a lot of people na iba't iba yung industries. Ang una kong inisip is a good way to actually spend their time is meron silang tools na magamit right after the talk. Ayan naman yung wish natin whenever we attend seminars. Meron lang tayong makuha. Once we were able to get at least one tool na magagamit natin on our everyday lives, particularly on our professions, then sulit na yung talk. At pinapromise ko po sa inyo that this talk, this introduction with systems thinking would be one talk na masusulit po natin. Okay, tuloy-tuloy na po tayo. Again, I'm Edward Solicito. I am as Sir Lex said, I am the Startup Founder of the Year for 2009 for ASEAN Rice Bowl Startup Awards. This is for Kazar 3D. So Kazar 3D is one of the largest 3D printing startups in the Philippines. Kami po yun. If you saw we're one of the first, if not the first, 3D printing startup that was able to put a kiosk in a mall. So one of our first branches was in Robinson's Lipa. So that was one of the winners. That was the winner for the Founder of the Year because of the amount of innovation and the amount of push that we gave for 3D printing, which is, we believe, the future. I am the Chief Executive Officer of Apex Digital Marketing, which we focus on data-driven SEOs. And to the top, we believe that digital is the future. Digitalization would encompass all industries, lalo na ngayon, especially now in a post-COVID world. Being in a digital landscape, you have to make your brand as digital as possible, as valuable as possible. Again, hindi ko na po babasahin yung iba, but basically, I am an industrial engineer by profession, and after nga po nun, I did try to go into the industry for a while, but then I decided to do something on my own, which is Causal Innovations. At nagtuloy-tuloy na po. Doon din kami ulit nagkasama ni Sir Lex, at hanggang ngayon, yung relationship namin is matibay pa din. So dito na po tayo. Let's start on with the talk. Let's go with the introduction to systems thinking. Okay, ano ba yung systems thinking? I really hope na this is something na makakapag-capture ng inyong mind right now. I want this seminar, whenever I conduct this seminar po kasi, may audience ako talagang natatanong eh. Pero sana, if ever, you can use the chat box para pumabasa ko yung inyong mga responses. I wanna know actually kung sino may idea na with systems thinking. Kasi medyo kakaiba yung term eh. Hindi siya systemic, hindi siya systematic, it's systems thinking. So before tayo mag-start, usually tinatanong natin yan ng expectations. Pero usually nga, sa jargons natin yan nalalaman. This is something na dito ko gusto simulan yung talk natin. Have something in mind. Ano po yung gusto natin basahin? Systems thinking is a framework for seeing interrelationships rather than single things. Ulitin ko po yun. Is a framework for seeing interrelationship rather than single things. Importante po yan. Mamaya babalikan po natin. Systems thinking makes you see wholes instead of parts. And it's seeing the forest for the trees. Importante yan. Seeing the forest for the trees. Keep in mind po. Okay, let's start. What are the objectives natin dito sa talk na to? One is to present a different way of thinking with that which Peter Senge said, metanoia, or a shift of mind. Gusto namin mabago yung perspective nyo ngayon through this seminar. Ano pa yung objectives natin? To be able to learn the jargon of systems thinking and to use it to understand solving problems. What are jargons? It is professionally used terms. Gusto namin, whenever you come across these kinds of problems, isa kayo sa mga kasolve ng mga problema kapag alam yung systemic thinking yung kailangan. And the last one is, ito yung mga pinaka-importante. I would really want na lahat kayo pong nanonood would be able to do this afterwards, to be able to draw causal loop diagrams in order to see structures causing the dynamic behavior of the system. Yan po yung madalas namin biruan with our audience. Kapag tinanong kayo, ano ba yung natutunan nyo kay Sir Edward? What did you learn with Sir Edward's talk? Casual lang yan. Hindi casual. Causal. Importante po, causal. Cause tayo. Yan ang gusto natin matutunan po ngayon. Ano naman yung ating objective? Last one, to get started on a personal journey to become a systems thinker. Within this next hour or 45 minutes to an hour, I would be able to tell you and talk to you everything about systems thinking. Ang importante po is masimulan lang, and then lahat ng references ibibigay ko po mamaya para matuloy nyo yung inyong journey. Okay, let's start. Ang tanong ko usually is, are you ready to be a systemic thinker? Then be ready to think crazy. Ayan. Our talk would be splitted into two parts, cause and effect, and perspectives. Dito muna tayo sa perspectives. And what systems thinking can do for you. So, systems thinking makes you look at the bigger picture before you propose an intervention. Usually, meron tayong mga colleagues, minsan, hindi pa nila nakikita yung buong problema. Kaya minsan kapag nag-propose tayo ng intervention, paano yung pag ganito? How about this? What if this pops up? It's important that you see the bigger picture before you propose the intervention. Next one is systems thinking forces you to think through a solution so that you can anticipate. Ito po yung importante, unintended consequences. And the last, ST systems thinking enables you to identify tipping points. Those leverage points to produce greater impact for intended solutions. May kausap akong isang systems thinker. Ito yung lagi niyang sinabi. Sabi sa akin, Edward, you cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking that got you into it. Sabi ko, oo nga no. The idea kasi is, kaya ka nga nagkamali kasi ganun ka mag-isip. In our profession, the idea is we are problem solvers. Yung mga gumawa ng problema or tayo mismo nag-set up ng problema, usually, kaya nga tayo nagkamali kasi ganun tayo mag-isip. So how you're able to actually solve a problem, paano nga? Dapat wala ka dun sa same level. Dapat mas mataas. You can only solve a problem kapag mas mataas na yung level of thinking that got you into it. Sino nagsabi nun? Albert Einstein. Kilala natin yan. Okay, usually sa atin when it comes to linear thinking, A causes B causes C. Very familiar tayo dyan. Ito yung mga diagrams na ginagawa natin or fishbone diagram. Ang ginagawa, C was the event and then ano yung reason for C, B, and then B, and yung A. Usually, anong ginagawa natin? Solve natin yung A kasi yun yung tinatawag natin na root cause. Yan yung linear thinking. Ano yung systems thinking? For example, poverty causes lack of education, causes lack of job opportunities. Pero dito pala muna tayo, sorry. Dito tayo sa example. So, kapag linear thinking, ang final event is yung lack of job opportunities. Ang cause nun, lack of access to education. Ang cause nun, poverty. Kaya lang, loop siya. Bakit? Ang poverty, saan ang gagaling? Lack of job opportunities. Pag wala kang trabaho, lalo kang maghihirap. So, hindi na siya linear. Loop na siya, structure na siya. Kailangan mo dyan systems thinking. Magkakaroon tayo ngayon ng idea kung gaano siya ka-importante. Kung linear thinking lang tayo, basta ma-plot lang natin siya dun sa ABC diagram, unahin natin yung poverty. Solve natin yung poverty para you have access to education, para you have job opportunities. Kaso nga lang, poverty din yung, lack of job opportunities din yung reason kaya may poverty Poverty din, automatic babalik din yan sa lack of job opportunities. So it's a loop. Anong sabi ni Einstein? You cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking that got you into it. Kailangan mas mataas, systems thinking dapat. If you want to fix a problem, if you want to fix something, you are first obliged to understand the whole system. Ang nagsabi po niyan, si Lewis Thomas. Notes po natin, in everything that you do, you need to make sure that you've thought of it. Kasi sa dulo, baka may kulang pa, sayang effort. Kailangan saktong-sakto. Dito tayo sa perspectives pa din, pero lalaliman natin ng konti. Let's take a deep dive. This is gonna be a lot more technical, so if you have some notes para magamit nyo yung diagrams natin, please kunin nyo sila, magagamit nyo po. Ayan. Let's go with systems thinking, the levels of understanding. The top one is event, pattern, merong ganito, and then structure. Maaahalin tulad nyo po yung pinakita ko kanina sa isang iceberg. Event, pattern, tapos structure. We call this the iceberg model. Event, pattern, structure. Ngayon, para ipaliwanag po yung perspective natin when we're doing systems thinking, bibigyan natin ngayon na example. I want everyone to be as active as possible dito sa part nito. If you can reply and you can chat dun sa chat box natin, mas maganda. For example, papaliwanag natin itong diagram na to an example. For example, nahulog yung plato. That's the event. Nahulog yung plato. Anong tanong natin? What happened? Anong nangyari nga? Nahulog yung plato. Ano yung action na ginagawa natin kapag nahulog yung plato? Usually, yung sagot sa akin dyan, itatanong, bakit nangyari? Hindi. Pag nagkataong nahulog yung plato, when the plate drop, the only thing that you can do is to react and to respond. Magugulat ka muna. You'll be shocked because it happened. The next level of thinking after reacting is, after the event, is pattern. What's the question to ask? What has been happening? Pattern tayo. Pattern na yung level of thinking. What's gonna be the action? You can now anticipate, plan, and prepare. For industrial engineers, which is my profession, that's one of the things na bread and butter natin. Anticipating, plan, and prepare. That's the reason why we have projections, why we have forecasting as a subject in its whole. It's one of our majors and isa sa mga importanteng ginagawa natin. One of the most important things that we have to know when we're going into the industry. Because it's our responsibility as managers to actually get those raw data and to put it in the data set na makakapag-anticipate tayo and we can plan and we can actually suggest what's going to be happening. This is the next one would be the reason why sulit yung pag-attend natin on this seminar. Structure. What would explain the pattern? Now, your action, you can now design, create, and transform. The reason kaya iceberg model yung tawag dyan is a lot of people just looks at the event. Mas maraming tao yan, yung react lang whenever something happens. The only thing that they can do is respond. There's some people, a very small amount of people, who can do patterns, who can actually see patterns, anticipate, and then plan accordingly. A different set of mindset, a higher level of thinking would be seeing the structure on everything that is happening so that you can actually transform and create an ecosystem or a process to actually support everything that comes on top. Kaya po siya iceberg model. Yung malaking chunk is hindi natin nakikita. Yan ang importanteng magawa natin. Sorry, next slide. Okay, so the first step of comprehending systemic structure is to move from the event level to the pattern level. Yun muna yung una. So we're having... So sabi nga, the ability to sense when there may be a systematic structure driving the results is one quality of a developed systems thinker. That there may to sense when there may be a systemic structure driving the results is one of quality of a developed systems thinker, by John J. Shibley. Remember, systems thinking is thinking that it is the structure that causes the pattern which produces the event. Dito tayo sa example natin. For example, the event. Kunwari may anak na tayo. Kunyari may anak tayo. We have a child and the event is you missed my play. Lumapit sa iyo anak mo, your kid told you na I had the play kanina, you're on your work, you missed my play. That was the event. So now, the pattern is number of school plays missed. Ilang beses na bang na-miss ng daddy yung play? Medyo mataas ah. There's napapadalas ata yung pag-miss ni daddy ng play, ni mommy ng play. That is the pattern level of thinking. Ano nga yung pwede natin i-anticipate? Kaya dumadating sa point, mamimiss ulit ni daddy yung play ko because it happened before. That's how you were able to forecast what's gonna be happening. When it comes dun sa event side pa lang, ay sorry ka, mag-apologize ka pa lang, you're gonna be promising that on the next time, you will be there. Pero kapag hindi pa rin natuloy, pattern level lang, mag-iisip na yung anak mo, nako, hindi na yan matutuloy. My dad won't be on my play anymore because based dun sa mga nangyari before, wala pa rin. The structure would be this. Number of school plays missed, the guilt, avoidance of home life, and overtime work. Tignan po natin yan, ipapaliwanag po natin yan. Kapag, for example, is tumataas yung number of school plays missed, ako as a dad, I'll be feeling guilty. So as the number of school plays missed goes up, the guilt goes up as well. Kapag tumaas ngayon yung guilt ko, if I became more guilty, what's gonna be happening is I'm gonna be avoiding home life. Nakakahiya na kasi pumunta sa bahay lagi. Kasi nga, guilty ako, medyo masama pa rin yung loob ng anak ko sa akin. So, hindi na muna ako sa bahay. Maghahanap na lang muna ako ng mapag-abalaan sa office. Which is, as avoidance of home life goes up, overtime work goes up as well. Dito yung hihingi ka ng mas maraming trabaho kasi nga ayaw mo pang umuwi. You don't want to actually go out. And what's gonna be happening when you have overtime work, when you have a lot of work, you're gonna be increasing the number of school place missed din also. Kasi maraming ang trabaho, mauulit at mauulit lang. Systemic, may loop, systemic structure yung problema. Again, the note is it is the structure that causes the pattern which causes the event. Let's go on the second part na tayo, cause and effect. Let's now talk about causal loop diagrams. This is very important. Causal loop diagramming is a powerful language for presenting system structures. Causal loops are constructed by assuming ceteris paribus, or all else being equal, when assessing the direction of change in a relationship. We assume that all other influences on the variable are constant. Okay, let's start with causal loop diagrams. Ito yung example po natin ng isang causal loop diagram. Let's talk about hunger and eating. Ipapaliwanag natin yan ng isa-isa. These are what we call a variable. So a variable is a quality or quantity that can vary upward or downward. This is very important. Kapag gumagawa tayo ng variables, it has to go up or down. Dapat ganun siya klaro. The reason kasi baka ilagay nyo, for example, increase in hunger. When you talk about increase in hunger, automatic going up siya. Pero pag nilagay nyo hunger, pwede siyang, it might go up, it can go down. The next item na we need to discuss would be this. This is what we call a link. A link is causal relationship. Ito mismo yung nagdidictate ng cause and effect. Drawn from the cause to the effect. So, pakita natin, paliwanag natin yan. Hunger, pag gutom ka, when you're hungry, you eat. And then after nyan is, after you eat, mamaya mapaliwanag natin yung eat, bakit papunta ulit siya ng hunger? Tingnan natin. Dito muna tayo sa sign. So kanina pinalawan natin yung variable, ngayon yung sign. The sign is the link is placed by an arrowhead and tells the direction of change. S is same direction or similar direction. O is opposite direction. Paliwanag natin. When hunger goes up, eating goes up as well. Pag mas gutom ka, mas kakain ka. Correct. Yung kabilang side naman, if you're eating na, goes up. Hunger goes down. Opposite siya. This is what we call, this one is what we call a delay. Meaning that the delay tells a significant time lapse between the cause and effect. For example, kumain ka na, automatic human behavior, after some time, even if eating goes up and hunger goes down, at certain point in time, automatic magugutom ka rin ulit. That's the reason why it's important to put a delay there. Again, yun po yung paggawa ng causal loop diagram. Hunger, as hunger goes up, dito muna tayo sa taas, as hunger goes up, eating goes up. So, ibig sabihin, same. Lagay natin S. Kapag eating goes up, hunger goes down. So, that's the reason why ilalagay natin is opposite. Pero dahil kahit siya is cause and effect, eating and hunger, we have to put delay there. Ngayon, ano yung kulang? Ano yung nasa gitna? We call this the loop notation. Indicates the resulting nature of all relationships in the loop. It can either be a balancing loop or a reinforcing loop. So to determine if a loop is balancing or reinforcing, we must count the O's, yung opposite links natin. If there are 0 or an even number of O's, then the loop is a reinforcing loop. If there is an odd number of O's, then the loop is a balancing loop. Paliwanag natin kung ano yung reinforcing and balancing. These are the two loops that happen simply because of the O's and yung cause and effect within the variables. The idea is pag reinforcing, lalala, palala ng palala ng palala, or patibay ng patibay, depende kung ano yung variables mo. when it comes to balancing, if it is a problem, basically you are solving it, you're alleviating it. Pabalance siya. Kaya kung makikita niyo yung diagram natin, pa-okay siya, yung reinforcing palala. So ilalagay natin siya sa gilid kasi importanteng malaman natin yan. Dito tayo sa hunger and eating ulit. Hunger and eating yung variables natin. So lagay natin first yung ating links. Hunger causes eating. Eating, hunger. The idea is as hunger goes down, importante po yung keywords na yun, ayun yung mapapadal. That's the reason why it's gonna be easier for you to actually put down the S's and the O's. As hunger goes up, eating goes up. As eating goes up, hunger goes down. So O tayo. The idea is it is a balancing loop because, sabi nga natin dito, the number of O's are odd. So balancing. So hindi siya lalala because it cancels out each other. Of course, there is a delay between eating and then being hungry again. Dito tayo sa examples tayo. How about poverty, education, and jobs? I want everyone to actually try to imagine that you're actually gonna be the one drawing the loops. If ever meron po kayong notes, if you have notes, then might as well draw it and try to create your own causal loop diagram. Pero sasagutin na natin siya. Poverty, education, jobs, poverty. Okay, as poverty goes up, education goes down. Bakit? As poverty goes up, mas mahirap kumuha ng education. As education goes up, jobs goes up. Same. As jobs goes up, poverty goes down. Reinforcing loop, palala ng palala. With these three variables lang, again, what we should remember, sir, bakit ganyan kadali? The idea with putting these kinds of variables, kesa linear thinking tayo, kapag ganito, you have to consider ceteris paribus, all else being equal. So any other variable outside this ones are equal. Kapag poverty, education, and jobs lang yung pinag-uusapan natin, it is a reinforcing loop. So causal, systemic yung problem. So that's the reason kaya mahirap talagang solusyonan ang poverty. Why we study systems thinking? So that we can have more options for interventions. Balikan natin kanina. When we were just doing linear thinking, when we're doing the root cause analysis, usually ang una nating aatakihin yung root cause. Poverty yung unahin nating tirahin. The problem is, hindi ganun kadali. Nakita nga natin kanina, it is a loop, it is a structure. When it comes to causal loop diagrams, when it comes to systemic thinking, you can actually attack poverty in itself. You can actually make interventions with education. You make interventions with jobs. Between poverty and between education and jobs, all can be possible. It makes you think more holistic. Mas ibang level of thinking na tayo. Hindi yung mag-give up ka, sir, walang problema yan. Sobrang hirap kung yung root cause agad yung aatakihin natin. Now you have more options when it comes to your interventions. And as problem solvers, that is our jobs. Let's go for more examples para mas malinaw. Number of plays missed, naalala natin yan, guilt, avoidance of home life, and overtime work. So alam natin kanina, the story medyo lumala. Tignan nga natin kung it is a reinforcing loop. As number of school plays missed goes up, guilt goes up. Mas magigilty ka, so same. As guilt goes up, avoidance of home life goes up as well. Kasi nga, mas guilty ka, so same. Avoidance of home life goes up, overtime work goes up, and then overtime work goes up, number of school plays goes up as well. So the idea is if there are 0 O's, then the loop is a reinforcing loop. Mas lalala talaga. Let's go on with the exercises, hoping na everyone can participate. If you have again a notepad, please do this. Pressure to clean up environment, cleanup effort, and environmental quality. Okay, let's solve. This is going to be our links. Pressure to clean up as pressure to clean up environment goes up, cleanup efforts, for example, this is for LGUs, goes up as well. So same. As cleanup effort goes up, environmental quality goes up as well. As environmental quality, oh, napindot ko na, sorry. As environmental quality goes up, now the pressure to clean up environment is down, it is a balancing loop. So wala tayong problema, it balances each other out, it is for the good. It is a good loop, it is a good intervention. How about this? Let's talk about markets and businesses. Attractiveness of market, number of competitors, price, and profits. Let's start with attractive profits. As profits goes up, attractiveness of market goes up as well. As attractiveness of market goes up, number of competitors goes up as well. So same yan. As the number of competitors goes up, the price, supposedly all else being equal, it goes down because of the law of competition. When price goes up, profits go up as well. Again, all else being equal, then it is a balancing loop. Again, this is just a very simple economics. So we would assume that the loop would stand. Again, ang sabi nga natin kanina, systems thinking makes you look at the bigger picture before you propose an intervention. Mas marami ka ngayong makikita, hindi lang siya isang linya, yung cause and effect of each variable with each other. You can actually see that. And now you have the tool, the causal loop diagram, to actually have it materialize or something that you can show. The next one would be, again, we can now anticipate unintended consequences, and ST enables you to identify tipping points which is producing greater impact. Let's go with the real-life applications of systems thinking. Sir, bakit masyado atang theoretical? Hindi. Ginagamit talaga to, and that's the reason why it's important to read some cases online on how we're able to actually apply it in the real world. Let's call this actually a case from Harvard, when failure looks like success. So this is how you actually read it. So the idea is, yung global effort is, usually on my talks, I have people read it, pero I'm gonna read it at the same time na lang kasama kayo. With number one is, the idea is to bring clean water to the people from Bangladesh. Usually kasi marami yung nagiging problema sa kanila, importante talaga yung water, as we all know. Now, the problem, so what's the problem with that situation? Lack of portable water in the early 1970s. There are 250,000 deaths annually for waterborne diseases. Ganun kasama yung water situation in Bangladesh. Now, what's going to be the fix? By UNICEF, of all people, one of the biggest organizations in the world. The idea is they initiated the project to install tube wells that pull your underground water to the surface. More, napakarami nilang wells. With 1970, there are only 0. With 1980, 1 million. And 1990, 10 million. So, na-solve talaga nila. The wells become a status symbol included by many families in their daughters' dowries. That's how important the wells became. So, success. It was a massive success. Kasi the problem was lack of potable water. They actually made the wells. Anong nangyari ngayon after at around 1983? Epic failure. Bakit? In 1983, they actually notices black raindrops on patients' skins, a sign of arsenic poisoning. Arsenicosis has a latency period for as long as 20 years. So even as more wells were installed, more cases were diagnosed. The idea is the effects is confusion, numbness, organ failure, coma, and even death. The problem is 1 in 5 wells were unsafe. The rise in arsenicosis, kung makikita nyo sa graph, 1983 first case, 1993, 40,000. Now, ano ngayon? Oh, nagkaroon ng problema. Unintended consequence. What's the fixing the fix? Number 5 is another massive success. Anong ginawa nila? A multi-million-dollar program of well screening, education, public relations, and social marketing. What they did was they painted the wells green if it is safe and red for contaminated. Official reports said that the most residents understand their danger, and then they have stopped using the wells. Now, what's another unforeseen consequence? The idea is the owners of the red wells become stigmatized because the idea is they want to avoid those people, those locations, those localities have red wells. Bakit? There's a lot more cases of arsenicosis on that location. Ayaw mong madamay. So nangyari, nagkaroon ng stigmatization. The idea is those affected with arsenic poisoning are discriminated against in employment and social activities. 20% of researchers estimated that diarrheal diseases will also increase with 20% of the people. 1 in 20, only 5% of parents would allow their children to marry someone with arsenicosis. So as we can see, a loop, a systemic loop. Akala nila simple lang. The problem, lack of water. What can we do? Root cause analysis. Okay, punta tayo, lagay tayo ng well. The problem is systemic. So there's a lot of unintended consequences. They should have conducted a causal loop a diagram. Anong sabi? You cannot solve the problem with the same level of thinking that got you into it. Sana systems thinking yung ginamit nila. Again, let's go for a couple more of exercises. This is the one that will be, I guess, the last. Let's solve the Philippine traffic problem. I want everyone to try to actually create their loops. Spoiler, there's actually more than one loops on this diagram because very problematic our traffic problem here in the Philippines. So there's actually 3. All else being equal, ceteris paribus on this diagram. So you can actually spend the next 1 minute as I read them to actually try to do your own loop. So we have number of highways under construction, highway capacity, traffic jam, pressure to reduce congestion, not congestion, number coding scheme, number of cars on highways, and the relative attractiveness of driving on highways and travel time. Okay, let's solve the Philippine traffic problem. Ito yung loops niya. So we actually have 3. If you can actually follow the lines, which we're gonna be doing later, let's see. Why is it so hard to solve the Philippine traffic problem? Let's start off first with this loop. Sorry. Okay, let's start. Then as numbers of highways under construction goes, let's start with pressure to reduce congestion. As pressure to reduce congestion goes up, marami nagrereklamo, number of highways under construction goes up as well. As number of highways under construction goes up, highway capacity goes up as well. May delay dyan. As the highway capacity goes up, traffic jam goes down. And as traffic jam goes up, the pressure to reduce congestion goes up as well. Kapag may traffic jam, of course, the pressure to reduce congestion goes up. So kapag yan, meron lang tayong isang O, balancing loop. So okay pa yan. Kasi nga, sinosolve nyo lang naman para lang siyang yung hunger and eating natin kanina. Let's see the other variables that we have. Let's go with this loop first. Ayun, nasagutan na pala. As traffic jam goes up, the pressure to reduce congestion goes up as well. Napag-usapan na natin yan. As the pressure to reduce congestion goes up, the number coding scheme goes up. Another solution. As number coding scheme goes up, or the implementation, the number of cars on highways go down. As the number of cars on highways go up, again gusto natin yung cost laging goes up muna para hindi tayo malito na number of cars on highways go down. Laging yung first cost. As number of cars on highways, dito naman tayo goes up, traffic jam goes up as well. So dito sa side na to, balancing pa rin siya. Dito tayo sa isa. Ito, medyo malaki yung loop natin. Nasagutan na natin ito kanina. Dito tayo sa as highway capacity goes up, travel time goes down. Tumataas yung highway capacity natin, we have extra lanes, then travel time goes up. Dito tayo, as travel time goes up, the relative attractiveness of driving on highways go down. Kasi nga lumalala as travel time goes up eh. Mas matagal ka sa biyahe, ay ayoko na mag-drive. Dito naman tayo sunod. As relative attractiveness of driving on highways go up, number of cars on highways go up. So kung mas maganda yung highways, yung attractiveness on driving, kunyari mas masarap mag-drive, dadami yung sasakyan sa kalsada. Kunyari mabilis, may bagong gawang expressway. Usually mas maraming bumibili ng sasakyan kasi mas madaling mag-travel. So it goes up as well. At alam nga natin, as number of cars on highways goes up, traffic jams goes up. So itong loop na to, we have how many O's? 1, 2, 3. We have a reinforcing loop. So dito yung mas lumalala yung problem natin. We can now actually see na dito tayo dapat gumawa ng intervention. Now we have all of the loops and the entire diagram plotted with all of our variables na alam lang natin. Again, there's other variables out there. Pero ito yung ginamit natin for our example. The solution might be attractiveness of public transportation in other modes. As attractiveness of public transportation in other modes go up, the relative attractiveness of driving in highways go down. As relative attractiveness nga yung kanina natin, tapos pag sinabi natin down na yung relative attractiveness of driving, cars of highways go down as well, and then the traffic jam would go down. Ano yung malaking example natin dyan? We have countries like Singapore that have actually massive public transportation na halos wala silang traffic simply because their public transportation is world class. Kung dito, kung pag-iigihin pa siguro natin yung buses, kung pag-iigihin pa natin yung ating LRTs and MRTs, when we have subways, when we have inter-island mass transportation, then maybe traffic jam would now be alleviated from the Philippines. Ayan. Again, I am Edward Valles Solicito. Here are the reference na ipinramis ko po that I promised to you a while ago. We have Introduction to Systems Thinking by Professor Antonio Perez. We have Systems Thinking, Creative Holism for Managers by Michael C. Jackson. The Fifth Discipline, I recommend this to everyone that is listening, by Peter Senji. In the Introduction to Systems Thinking and Causal Loop Diagramming from MSIB by John D. Sterman. That's basically the end of my talk. If you have questions, I would gladly answer them. Pero a small request lang po from me, if you actually tell me what you learned or where you're going to be using the causal loop diagramming or systems thinking in your industry, in your day-to-day lives, please tag me on Facebook at Edward Valles Solicito, and then the 10 winners, I will be picking some of the 10 best comments natin or some posts natin will be receiving the free ebook coming po this November 26, 2020 called 10 Keys on Innovation Plus. Again, thank you very much po for having me. Babalik ko na po kayo kay Sir Joe and Sir Felix Beroya for the rest of the seminar. Sir Felix?
Hi Ed. Yan,
Sir, hello po.
Yan, thank you That was a very nice talk. Sorry wait lang. Malolobat na ako. Ayan. Okay, good. So, that was a very nice talk. I think yung mga tao na nag-enjoy sila dun sa talk in such a way that they have seen the basics tapos nag-mature into pretty simple examples, and then sa dulo parang kahit ako medyo nalilito na rin ako dahil ang dami ng loop, sobrang dami ng causal loops na nakikita ko. So siguro for me, yung key takeaway ko just to share, #SKL, more of, kasi I'm practicing Lean Six Sigma, so hindi ko din siya nakikita na more of yung, I mean, I know systems thinking, diba? Kasi nga, as an IE, pero on the perspective of using that particular discipline, incorporating it to Lean Six Sigma, medyo more of linear kasi yung nagiging approach eh. Pero I'm not speaking for every Lean Six Sigma practitioner So I'm just speaking for my experience. So yeah, pero parang it's an eye opener. Oh nga no, there are some tools that can be incorporated to Lean Six Sigma, and thinking is actually one of those. So thank you for giving me that ano ba yun, eye opener. Kumbaga that's my aha moment with the talk that you shared. So thank you. And just to give an idea, si Ed dito, yes, Jo.
Ay, sorry. Ayan.
Si Ed dito, he agreed, nagbigay na siya ng copy nung kanyang digital signature. He agreed to send out free e-certificates to everybody. So yung mga magpo-follow up po ng certificate, just give us time. Siguro mga Monday marirelease, no? Dahil
Ayan.
skeletal workforce po tayo ever
Di data
since.
cleaning pa kasi and
Tsaka,
validation.
ayan. So, ayan. Okay, sige. Medyo nakapahinga na si Ed with the talk. Let's proceed to, pinaunlakan niya rin po tayo to have a Q&A, but let's limit it to yung ano lang natin, no? Siguro yung 8 p.m. marker natin. So, questions. What questions do you have?
So let's start with the YouTube, sir, from Sir Jack Salunga. So, can causal loop be used in organizing a company's process and procedures? Example like payroll processing, finishing to packing, and loading processes.
Well, the answer is definitely. The good thing about causal loop diagrams naman or systems thinking is it's applicable to almost everything as long as there is a cause and effect. So the idea is your industry may have different variables on its own. Merong mga variables na kayo lang yung nakakaalam and it's very important, very specific on your industry. Very specific also on your day-to-day lives. Kayo po yung makakapaglagal ng variables noon. This is something that I would recommend po, for example, for HR po ata to payroll processing, or even, for logistics, for packing and loading. Sit down, list the variables that you have right now, as kung nakita natin sa ating, when we saw our examples. Kunyari, these are the variable. Okay, the payroll processing, the amount, how many people. Basta the variable should go up and down. And then you on your own, start doing the links. This is the cause, this is an effect. Huwag niyo po munang isipin yung reinforcing loop. Huwag niyo munang isipin yung balancing loop. Doon muna yung simula. What are the variables? Sulat niyo yan. Take time to actually talk about your variables with your team para mas malinaw. And then start doing the cause and effect. Ito nakaka-apekto to dito. Itong side na to, ito effect niya. Loop siya kasi ito nakaka-apekto din dito. And then afterwards, you do the process na ginawa natin as this goes up, same. As this goes up, this goes down, opposite. And now you can actually see what are the loops in your system, what are the loops na reinforcing. Then mas maganda po yun, dun muna kayo mag-focus. Kapag balancing na sila lahat, alam nyo na at least nasa maganda na kayong proseso and maganda na yung sistema nyo.
Okay. Sir, follow-up question siguro. How do you do when you're stuck in the loop?
Sorry, Sir Joe?
What do you do when you are stuck in your own loop?
Well, the idea, sir, when you're stuck in your own loop, you have to talk kasi. The idea with systems thinking is it's a holistic approach. You have, so to answer your question, usually when I do it myself, I immerse myself on that particular situation. I actually talk the people na nandun. Kahit na ang tagal ko na in the business, for example, I'm one of the founders, imposibleng alam mo yan, lalo na kung hindi ikaw yung nasa day-to-day operation. You interview some people, you show them your variables, you show them your loops. Tama po ba yung cause and effect? Hindi sir, kasi mali yan. Most probably po kasi our variables are correct. Usually nagkakalik tayo sa cause and effect at saka dun sa ating causality, which is if it goes up as well. Yun yung importanteng matanong natin sa mga tao na talagang gumagawa.
Okay, so more of you need empathy to put yourselves into the other's perspective, no, para for you to be able to get out of the loop.
Well, honestly, Sir Joe, I mean, more than empathy, I actually believe kasi na iba pa din yung first-hand experience. That's the reason why interviewing and immersion is much more better. Kasi even though us, we're technical people po kasi engineers and like, mahirap sa atin yung empathetic lang. Usually, we put in metrics on everything that we do. So might as well we ask them para meron tayong metrics. Okay, quantify natin yung feelings na yon. It goes up. Okay, it goes up talaga based on the metrics. Mas maganda, sir, na itanong natin siya.
Okay, thank you po, Sir Ed. And then we have a question from Zoom. Is there an app or digital tool for systems thinking like Minitab in Six Sigma?
Right now, wala pa po kaming marirecommend. There are some tools out there that actually do basically what we can do na in PowerPoint or what we can do on some other instances. Kasi as you can see, it's very limited naman and very subjective din po kasi talaga. It varies industry per industry. It's not like our other tools na ilalagay mo hunger tapos yung may value na agad siya. It's not like that eh. It changes in every situation. There are instances that in this context kapag traffic ito yung nag-goes up and ito yung nag-goes down. When it comes to sa ibang context naman outside of transportation, iba naman yung umangat at bumababa. We can try, I guess it is easily done, pero that that pleasure or that process of subjectivity na pwede mo siyang baguhin based on your immersion, that is much more important in systems thinking. Kaya mas maganda po na kahit hand-on-hand pa rin siya.
Okay, thank you po, Sir Ed. And then, next question is from YouTube again. So, is there any limitations to the number of variable that the structure can successfully manage with Pauline Miranda?
Well, that's a good question. The answer is no. It can be as simple as yung one-to-one nga po natin kanina with hunger and eating, dalawang variables lang, and then it becomes more complex. Whenever I show people the Philippine traffic problem, sabi nila, sir, ang daming ibang variables pa po dyan na idadagdag natin, di ba? Yes, because it depends on the context of where you are right now. The national government would see that graph and actually think of different set of variables. When you show this to a mayor, when we have trainings for LGUs, iba din yung kanilang set of variables na nasa isip. Pag government, ang variables nila for public, bakit? It depends on the context. For example, when it comes to the government, national government, pag sinabing mass transportation sa kanila, anong nasa isip nila? Subways, LRT, MRT, national trains. Pero pag ang kinausap mo lang is barangay captain, pag ang kinausap mo lang is a mayor, an LGU, they're just gonna be thinking about tricycle, jeepneys. Yeah. May iba na po ngayon yung goes up and goes down po natin. So it depends on the context. Again, I would, to answer your question, mas madali, to give you a suggestion na po pala, I would suggest na start small. Gawin nyo muna yung loops nyo until it makes sense. And then introduce variables. Kasi mas madaling mag-introduce kaysa parang connect the dots ka. Start small with what you have right now. Show it to other people. Increase your variables. And then show it to the final, the final deciders, yung people na the top managers, so that you can actually implement the solution na pinapakita ng causal loop diagram na yun.
Okay, thank you po, Sir Ed. So we have some questions from the Zoom also. Our variables in causal loop diagram should be quantifiable or measurable.
Yes, definitely. The idea kasi with quantifiable is it has to go up and it has to go down. The idea kasi po with quantifiable is the reason why hindi straightforward yung sagot ko. When you talk about relative attractiveness, it's something kasi subjective based on the people that you actually ask. Kumbaga, for example, Filipinos would like a certain thing. Americans would have a different culture. They would actually relate in such different things. Maybe it goes down for them, the relative attractiveness. So, yes, you can put metrics for that if you talk about surveys and stuff, pero meron pa ring leeway siya. Pero yes, it should go up and down. So, importante po na at least meron tayong metrics doon.
Okay, thank you, Sir Ed. So, another question from Zoom. ST's holistic approach, is there a risk of overthinking the ST analysis?
Definitely. Again, you can put as many variables for that. When you're talking about relative attractiveness or something that is subjective, sigurado yan. There's a lot of inferences that you can actually put with your causal loop diagrams. That being said, this is a tool. This is a tool for the problem that you have right now. This is not a tool that you just have there in case of doing something. When you're solving a problem, time is of the essence. So you have to be very realistic. The idea of a causal loop diagram is one, to see the holistic ecosystem, the holistic, to see the forest for the trees nga natin kanina. But the second thing is to actually justify the intervention that you're gonna be doing. So meron ka dapat action after this part. Hindi naman pwedeng causal loop tayo ng causal loop diagram lang habang buhay nang wala tayong intervention. The reason why we're doing it right now, like our example sa Philippine traffic problem, after natin ginawa yung maliit nating variable, we actually put their public transportation, and then that's something that we can now show to the LGUs, to the government, to justify our proposal.
Okay. So I think we'll be getting the last question since yung iba ay na-touch na rin ng ng answer. So from the Zoom, instead of looking into the causal relationship of variables, can we use the input process output framework? IPO, of course, being the framework of the system's theory of management.
Sorry sir, medyo nag-cut lang po.
Instead of looking the causal relationship of variables, can we use the IPO framework, being the framework of the system's theory of management?
Here's the thing. Again, we can. As long as it follows the causal loop diagramming steps, we can actually do that. Causal loop systems thinking po kasi is, again, it's a framework eh. Hindi siya independent tool lang in itself. You're using it to justify. Like Sir Felix Veroya said, there's other perspectives out there. There's other tools out there. This is another way to actually do it. Like all of it, it doesn't invalidate other modes of thinking. It doesn't invalidate other perspective. It is just there so that you can actually see and actually have a more holistic perspective. Solutions-based, baka meron tayong iba pa dyan. Usually Six Sigma, the other approaches, can, mas solution-based siya, mas solution-focused siya. So we can do it in tandem with systems thinking. Pero just follow it as the realities and the truths of systems thinking still stands. You have to put the variables out there. It should go up and down. You should have a set real expectation for the cause and the effect, and then you see how it reinforces or it balances. At least you have an idea how it behaves as a whole ecosystem.
Okay, thank you, Sir Ed. Siguro pahabol ko na tong huling-huling question talaga from Zoom. Sir, we use Stella app in school. Is there any better app than this one, sir? Stella app.
I'm not familiar with Stella.
So what app do you use, sir, in your own system thinking, sir?
The thing is, sir, is I can't recommend one application. I actually searched Stella for everyone's sake. I can't recommend any system, any app for that because I did it once and I had a lot of comments because of the functionalities of one and the other. That being said, as long as the truths and as long as the fundamentals are there, I mean, wala pong reason why you should complicate particularly causal loop diagramming. As long as you have the variables out there, it would work. So all of those apps, as long as it covers systems thinking, the reason why I can't answer clearly is usually IEs, particularly all engineers, have this problem na when we have a technical tool, we just input the numbers and then let it run its course, which is very different when we're talking about systems thinking. Systems thinking has that process of immersion, has that process of validation with the people actually out there, and you can't really program it as fast as possible. Those can work in some context, but I would also recommend you do it manually. You actually get a feel of what you're doing so that you can actually see the forest for the trees and see it more holistic.
Okay. So I think that wraps up all the questions being raised right now. So thank you for your time, Sir Ed, for that very wonderful presentation and Q&A. So for those who were enlightened by system thinking, you may contact Sir Ed of Sir Lex. Any last words?
Yun lang. Thank you lang Ed for accommodating yung session and then the Q&A. Parang talagang so just to remind everyone, maganda yung sinabi ni Ed kanina na not that this particular tool has been introduced to you. Ibig sabihin, this is the only tool that you can use. Kung may alam ka na ibang tool, that should supplement. Kasi yung wisdom usually para sa mga problem solver or change agents or process improvement agents, ano yun eh, it's the wisdom comes into the part wherein you have to choose the right tool for yung kung ano man yung meron ka before you, kung analysis man yan or problem or etc. Hindi yung parang ito yung tool, paano ko ba to gagamitin, parang ganon. Hindi mo i-fit yung tool dun sa ano. So ganun lang, para kasing ganun yung nagiging course ng mga tanong ninyo eh. But anyways, so because I think talagang curious kayo kung paano nyo gagamitin ito. And that's a good indication. At any rate, thank you again, Ed, for
Thank you
being
po.
with us today. So don't forget to follow Ed sa Facebook and then sa LinkedIn. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
And kindly visit din yung page nila. Tama ba? You have an existing page for to the top na
Yes, sir. So, if ever you have companies that are looking for some of the best SEOs and digital marketing expert in the country right now, you can search To The Top Agency on Facebook. We have around 20,000 followers po doon. Please like and support us. And then, if your companies would be needing some digital marketing expertise, just contact us po as well. Makakausap niyo po kami doon and we'll see the best package, the best this strategy for your company. Other than that, again, paalala ko lang po, if you can comment, post what you've learned today via Facebook and just tag us at Edward Valles Solicito. I'm gonna be picking 10 po, which we're gonna be receiving the ebook for free called 10 Keys on Innovation Plus. Yun lang po. Again,
wow. Nice. That was nice. By the
thank
way,
you.
ang audience mo pala for today was at peak tayo sa YouTube. Ilan tayo, Jo?
386.
So almost 400 sa YouTube and 100 here. So ilan yon?
Thank you.
500 most likely.
So mga around 500. So one of our most viewed or most attended sessions. So congratulations, Ed, on that.
Thank you very
So,
much.
yan,
Again, sir, thank you very much. Thank you to Ask Lek PH Academy. Ingat po tayo. Salamat po.
Okay.
Salamat po.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, and now we're going to the end part of our Alpha TV webinar. So I'm with Sir Lex right now, and we'll be having some announcements. So announcements, fill out the attendance form in the link that we'll be providing at the end of this webinar. Only those with both Zoom link and attendance detail will be given an e-cert. So don't worry, YouTube, Team YouTube, you'll be having your e-certs as well because you'll be registering with our attendance sheet will be given by the end of this webinar. Okay, so yes, sir, Lex.
Just to add, kasi we're receiving actually so many inquiries. So pag nag-register po kayo, sa sunod, if ever mag-attend po kayo, pag binasa niyo po yung whole post, nandun po kasi yung instructions na dahil po limited lang po yung capacity natin sa Zoom na 100. Whenever po ma-reject kayo doon, tapos nag-register naman po kayo via Zoom, that's why meron kayong link ng Zoom, di ba? Punta lang po kayo sa YouTube. So kahit po sa YouTube,
nare-redirect na rin sila.
Pag sa YouTube po kayo nanood, automatic pa rin naman po, Zoom or YouTube, basta nag-register kayo sa Zoom, makakapunta po kayo dun mabibigyan pa rin kayo ng certificate once na magawa niyo yung link or yung attendance form na ipapakita later on. So, yun po yung isa sa mga usual na questions. Okay po? At tas yung usual na nangyayari sa beginning ng webinar. Ngayon, yung sunod naman pong question, just to clear lang din, yung generation po natin ng e-certificate, minimum na po niyan is 2 days or 48 hours. Yan. Reason is that very very thin po ang workforce namin sa back-end. Parang dalawa lang po talaga kami ni Sir Jojo na gumagawa sa back-end. So, ang pakiusap lang namin, wag niyo naman po kami i-bombard ng follow-up after ng ano. Hindi po siya automatically talaga na ano because there are validations that are being made. Kasi meron po nagre-register pero hindi naman po nag-a-attend ng actual webinar. So, hindi naman fair pa yun para sa mga nag-attend. So, yun lang. Tapos yung isa pa, kapag po dun sa link na binigay namin later on, hindi kayo makapasok, wag po kayong mag-alala, wag po kayong mag-panic. I-troubleshoot nyo lang po, i-refresh nyo po yung browser ninyo, o kaya po maghintay po kayo ng let's say 5 to 10 minutes or so. Kasi yun po ay surge po yun kasi na gumagamit ng particular na link. Yun na po yung mga usual natin na mga problems. So, at any rate naman po, mabibigyan naman po kayo ng e-certificate. In the event po na medyo mabagal po ang reply namin for corrections or for some missing certificates, ayun nga po, medyo just bear with us. talagang dadalawa lang po kami ngayong kumakana ng lagari po kami. And then we still have business as usual kasi. So ayun lang, yun lang naman ang pakiusap namin. But nonetheless, syempre, we'll be doing this as long as kaya namin, di ba? Kasi next week, meron pa ulit tayo. We'll be having,
Wow!
I think, big data Friday with two data scientists talaga. They were former smart data scientists. So
Wow!
yon. Anyway, so go ahead, Joe. Please help me promote our upcoming programs as the usual. Thank you, thank you. I'll
Okay,
be
so
up.
don't forget to like our page and subscribe to our YouTube, guys. Pag tayo nakaabot ng 2,000 subscribers, no? So baka makulit natin Sir Lex to give some freebies, no? So like and share lang po ang ating Facebook page and ating YouTube channel. So announcement for our next wave of our Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt program. So this is the program from July 11 to August 1. It has 16 hours of coursework, exercises, quizzes, plus your e-certification. And grab your slots right now, no? Ito, yan. Last 4 slots. Okay? Last 4 slots na lang for our online Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt. And for our Green Belt, okay, Green Belt program from July 11 to August 9, every Saturday and Sunday. So last 4 slots pa rin. Okay, that's our wave 3 of our Green Belt. So enroll now, enroll now. So for our link, okay, so for our link, ayan, I suggest no, you screenshot the registration kung yung fini-fill out nyo para when you claim your certificate, for example, there's an error, may mga nagba-bounce back the certificate, you can send us a proof na nag-evaluate kayo. Okay po ba yon? Ayan. So, ipapalabas ko na ang ating e-certificate. So, always be continually #significantly better together. So, here's your e-certificate link. So, standby ko siya. Same lang po yan. So, kung ako sa inyo, you screenshot the certificate link. Okay? Ang ating team Zoom, pwede mo rin siyang i-scan via QR code, no? So ganyan tayo ka ngayon. Ka-updated. So, na-screenshot na po ba? Kung na-screenshot na, ito po ang ating attendance detail. Ito po yung link. Ayan po. Ayan po yung link. Okay, thank you. So, I'll be closing this webinar. Yung mga gustong humabol, ayan, no? Paki-screenshot na lang po yung link and then, ayan. So, close ko na to. Maraming salamat. See you on the next webinar. So, let's continue to be #significantly better together. So, yun lang po. Maraming salamat. Enjoy the rest of the night.